Daily Words of God. When God carries out His work, He comes not to engage in any building or movements, but to fulfill His ministry. Each time He becomes flesh, it is only to accomplish a stage of work and to launch a new age. Now the age of kingdom has arrived, as has the training of the kingdom. This stage of work is not the work of man, and it is not to work man to a particular degree, but is only to complete a portion of God's work. What He does is not the work of man. It is not to achieve a certain result in working man before leaving earth. It is to fulfill His ministry and finish the work that He ought to do, which is to make proper arrangements for His work on earth, and thereby gain glory. The work of the incarnate God is unlike that of the people used by the Holy Spirit. When God comes to do His work on earth, He is only concerned with the fulfillment of His ministry. As for all other matters unrelated to His ministry, He takes almost no part, even to the extent of turning a blind eye. He simply carries out the work that He ought to do. And least of all is He concerned about the work that man ought to do. The work He does is solely that which pertains to the age He is in, and to the ministry that He ought to fulfill, as if all other matters lie outside His purview. He does not furnish Himself with more basic knowledge about living as one among mankind, nor does He learn more social skills, nor equip Himself with anything else that man understands. All that man ought to possess concerns Him not at all, and He simply does the work that is His duty. And so, as man sees it, the incarnate God is deficient in so much that He even pays no heed to many of the things that man ought to possess, and He has no understanding of such matters. Such things as common knowledge about life, as well as the principles governing personal conduct and interaction with others, appear to bear no relation to Him. But you simply cannot sense from the incarnate God the slightest hint of abnormality. That is to say, His humanity only maintains His life as a normal person and the normal reasoning of His brain, giving Him the ability to discern between right and wrong. However, He is not furnished with anything else, all of which is what man, created beings, alone should possess. God becomes flesh only to fulfill His own ministry. His work is directed at an entire age, not at any one person or place, but at the entire universe. This is the direction of His work and the principle by which He works. No one can alter this, and man has no way of becoming involved in it. Each time God becomes flesh, He brings with Him the work of that age, and has no intention of living alongside man for 20, 30, 40, or even 70 or 80 years, in order that He may better understand and gain insight into Him. There is no need for that. To do so would in no way deepen the knowledge man has of God's inherent disposition. Instead, it would only add to his notions and cause his notions and thoughts to become fossilized. It therefore behooves you all to understand exactly what the work of the incarnate God is. Surely you cannot fail to have understood the words I spoke to you. It was not to experience the life of a normal human that I have come. Have you forgotten the words, God comes to earth not to live the life of a normal human? You do not understand God's purpose in becoming flesh, nor do you know the meaning of how could God come to earth with the intent of experiencing the life of a created being. God comes to earth solely to complete his work, and so his work on earth is short-lived. He comes to earth not with the intent of causing the Spirit of God to cultivate his fleshly body into a superior human who will lead the church. When God comes to earth, it is the Word becoming flesh. Man, however, does not know of his work and forcibly attributes things to him. But you should all realize that God is the Word become flesh, not a fleshly body that has been cultivated by the Spirit of God to assume the role of God for the moment. God himself is not the product of cultivation, but is the Word become flesh. And today he officially carries out his work among you all. You all know and acknowledge that the incarnation of God is a factual truth, yet you act as though you understand it. From the work of the incarnate God to the significance and essence of his incarnation, you are unable to grasp these in the least, and only follow others in glibly reciting words from memory. Do you believe the incarnate God to be as you imagine?